What's up, my space pirates? It's Galactic Bounty Hunter Kitty. Once more, as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Metroid series and the upcoming release of Metroid Dread, we are playing through every single 2D Metroid. This time we are on number 5 of 6, Metroid Zero Mission. So, last time we did Metroid Fusion, which is the first game in the Metroid timeline. Zero Mission is our first remake, specifically of the original Metroid back in 1986. It imports most of the niceties from the previous two titles, comes up with a couple more rings of its own. The map mostly follows the layout of the original, but that's all I'm going to say about that for now. The theme of tonight is going to be sequence breaking. That is, doing things not in the order the developers intended. So, Super Metroid was one of the first games that's really famous for sequence breaking. It's got several of them that are built into it, but if you want to really do things out of order, you're going to have to resort to just Metroid Fusion has basically no sequence breaking. Everything you get in that game is in exactly the order the developers intend. For this one, they swung way back in the other direction. There is all sorts of skips built in this game, both intentional and unintentional. I'm honestly not going to have to do any skips at all. Sorry, do any glitches to skip around. As we go, I will point out what the correct order of things is, but I'm going to view that as a polite suggestion. As far as what all we're going to do, I'm going to get several items early. I am also potentially going to fight the bosses in a completely different order. Now, what that order is up to you. I can either fight Kraid first, which is the intended order, or Ridley first. I did a little poll so far. It's neck and neck for Kraid or Ridley, so anybody in the chat, go ahead and throw me your vote. And I will do what all of you tell me to do. Go ahead and get started. Once more, I am playing on the Wii U Virtual Console, which is basically the only way I can stream this and play it legally. Last time was the first time I had booted up in the system in quite a while, so I made a couple of goofs, but hopefully it's not going to embarrass me again this time. Discord is one for first. Yeah, Kino has not voted in the poll, but she told me she wanted Kraid, so that's where I'm getting the neck and neck. The other person I asked outside of Discord said whichever is funnest, so probably going to do Ridley though. Dragon Ellen, sure. And it's Seabees. I called this place home once peaceful times, long before you came onto the caverns. Now I should finally tell the tale of my first battle here, the so-called Zero Mission. On that in a minute, but for now it's going. So, okay, this is a platformer, so in all platformers you run to the right now. I already did that bit. First thing we need to do is come over here and grab our buddy the Morph Ball, exactly where it was in the original game. On this one, it's going to both pop up the status screen and this little tutorial on handling ability. Always, the Morph Ball lets us roll into a little sphere and fit into locked hall passages. One thing I want to note, Samus can really book it in this game. Super Metroid famously has very kind of floaty, deliberate physics. Fusion is in between. Zero Mission, on the other hand, is just really, really fast, which a lot of people... I can go away. And, okay, this is new. Alright, so if you remember Super Metroid, we actually already know what to do with this guy. We just need to roll up no ball in his hands. Right, so this right here is our compromise between having no direction and having a bossy computer dictate our every move. Anytime we find one of these Chozo statues, it will quietly put a marker on our map for where we need to go next. That is not enforced in the slightest. I can completely ignore those guys if you want. Big old vertical passage from... Seriously, our girl is zippy. So we can't get through here yet, because we have our little short-range pea shooter. Okay. Wait. I'm gonna rectify that real soon, though. Alright, here's our first Chozo statue and our first upgrade, the long beam. Since shots with this beam, press L and B to fire diagonally. So instead of that little pea shooter, I can now fire as far as I can. Well, as far as I have an unobstructed shot. And also, any of these statues, if I roll up into their hand after they're chatting at me, they'll restore all my energy. So with the long beam, I can make my way through this passage. I will point it out, but there is already a significant skip that we could do if we so chose. I don't because it's a giant pain in the butt, but I'll show you where it is. Here is our equivalent of the two statues of Great and Ridley. These are Mother Brain's two henchmen. In order to actually get to Turian, her base of operations, we're gonna have to track down and slaughter both of those guys. Incidentally, I like the tunnel version a lot better than the two statues. It makes it a lot more obvious what's going on there. Okay, so corridors are impassable. If flashing, it means we can get through it. Generally, whenever we see one of these, either it's a one-way or we need to kill all of the enemies in the room. So there's the next objective. That one's pointing us to an upgrade. I don't think it's actually possible to get in this game, so... Okay, so we can use the long beam to get through this passage, and this is required to progress, or is it? I mean, you can go through here, or... you can actually ignore it completely and just shoot through this passage up here. Now, you can do that. I don't recommend doing so, because then you're going to spend the entire game with the... basically a melee weapon in gun form. Okay, so the map was directing us over to the right, but we can't get through yet because of that red door. Obstacle that should be familiar to everyone. So here's our second upgrade, the missiles. Can't get through here yet. As ever, the missiles are a firepower upgrade that will let us open red doors and also shoot... oh, whoop! Let us shoot through specific blocks. This guy's new. Alright, here's our first new upgrade. Okay, so here's the charge beam. Charge up our main weapon. A fully charged shot does triple damage. We also still have the pseudo screw attack, which will destroy most enemies on contact if we somersault into them with a charged shot. The thing I like about this one is that the little blurb there actually tells us that this is a thing. These little bugs are going to be the bane of our existence for a couple minutes. Get through here, but they can't get to the upgrade down there yet, so I'll come back. That sack for a second, because it's a missile over here. So we have to shoot through these stupid things, and while they're still intact, they're going to spew an infinite supply of those little bugs at us. Biggest way to get through them is basically try to time it so you can shoot them with missiles. Okay, luckily we have gotten rid of all those. Okay, can't get through there yet. We can't destroy that particular block yet. We're in the first another missile. And our first energy tank, our health capacity just went from 99 to 99 units. So far, yeah, if you recall our original playthrough, this is basically exactly how it went. We got the long beam, we went down to get those missiles, came back for the next upgrade. Okay, let's go down here first. Map room, which will show us any section on the map we haven't been to yet. This first area is Brinstar, the Rockies. I mean, it's pretty simple. We got 3 horizontal passages and tunnels. Are going to be here a couple of times just because it's up to it. Can't destroy that. Our second steeple upgrade, the bombs. It's one more mode. All I have to do is press the fire button and lay down a little explosive. Right here is a nice little show on what you can do, namely blow balls and some propel Samus upwards mode. One sec. Now, a signature ability of the bombs that I haven't really had used in the last couple days is what's called the infinite bomb jump. Basically, if you can time your bombs correctly, you can propel yourself upward in the air basically indefinitely. This ability has existed in most of the previous games. Either it hasn't really been useful, been some other way to get to anywhere I'd really use this for. In Fusion, they basically completely nerfed it. It wasn't possible to do more than jump. And this is going to be the first time I'm really going to take advantage of it, because there's a couple upgrades that if I want to get early, I'm going to... Anyway, this game actually makes it pretty easy with a couple of attempts. Usually you can just sit and mash the button. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to have to do several skips where I only get one shot at it. and these horrible little bugs will start immediately eating us. So here's our third use of the bombs. They also function as a weapon. Okay, so we're going to backtrack down this passage, go into those couple little areas that I had to skip, and then I am going to do my first major skip. I am going to get an upgrade very, very early. Going to save us a whole ton of backtracking. Alright, so if you recall the first game, this little weird area down here is where we get the ice beam. Does want us to come down here, but only so it can direct us to another direction. Just to head to Mechanic Warfare next to get a couple upgrades. I am not gonna do that. It's not. Beetles. Those things do exist for a reason, and the game is actually taking great pains to show us that we can pick those little things up and take them elsewhere. So to get this missile, I have to bomb that block very quickly. Drop down in here. Yeah, in the original, that was basically a trap. Just a big old chasm full of enemies that was really difficult to get out of. This one they were at least nice enough to put something in. So instead of going down, we're just gonna go up instead. Okay, so the skip I'm gonna try to do is actually really, really difficult. I'm able to do it, but not consistently. I think I pulled it off maybe like 30% of the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple attempts, and if I can't get it, I am going to pull a cooking show and pull out the one I prepared earlier. Save point. Okay, so this secret is actually up here on the ceiling. Okay, so the bomb jump, basically you need to plant another bomb right as the one that's you've already placed is exploding. So I need to come over here. 2, 1, 3. Nice, first try. Here's these little bugs again, and here's what they're actually supposed to do. At least they will if they'll... There we go. Okay, so we've seen two little things we can do with the little bugs. If we pick up a bunch of them, they'll do damage to us. But we can pick them up and move them, and also if you get a couple of them onto those spheres, they'll actually eat them. Which is extremely useful, because otherwise there is absolutely no way to destroy those. So I am going to have to do 2 bomb jumps in a row, the second of which I can't screw up. If I do, it's going to drop me into the acid blow, and I'm going to have to run back and try the whole thing. See if my luck holds out. So to get up in that passage, I need to get right over here on the edge. Again. Screwed up the timing into there. Yeah, it's that third bomb that gets me. If I can get the chain going, usually I can sustain it. Okay, this one we can skip. I just plant a couple and use that to push us over. Right here I'm going to do a practice. Okay, once more. Okay, come on, I can get this. So I'm going to have to bomb over to that second block. It's going to start disintegrating as soon as I touch it, so I need to immediately get off of it and then get into a passage that's going to be above us. Here we go. Holy crap, that was first try. Okay, so little bugs are... Okay, come on, this is the one, I get this. The little bugs blew up that other vine thing for us. You want to sit right there and make sure they do it, because one time I jumped in there and accidentally blew them up and didn't have enough bomb or little bugs left. So I had to actually go back, reload the room, and try to do this all over again. So patience is a virtue. Here's our next item. We are not supposed to get this until, let's see, about 3 major upgrades from now. It is. It's the various suit. This is damage taken from enemies, prevents damage from acid and heat, and normally this also changes our armor. Okay, so we've turned Samus orange. Normally she gets the big shoulders at this point, but she has not in this one. That's interesting. So you'll note it mentioned it protects us from acid and heat, and it's immediately going to demonstrate that for us. Actually a change from the previous 2 games. Normally we would need a second suit upgrade and to stand any sort of dangerous fluid. The various suit will protect us from acid. It will not protect us from lava, which we'll see later on. Seriously, I cannot believe I got that first try. Okay, we don't technically need to go down this passage, but there are going to be a couple other items, so we might grab them. Thank you, thank you. Okay, very carefully. Nope. Gotta bomb sideways to get into that passage, otherwise it's not possible yet. Come on. Okay. Yes, I got enough bullets. Yeah, this right here is what the game was trying to teach us how to do with examples, but we got there. Okay, go lava. Here's another Chozo statue. If we tried to go through that tunnel before, we would have gotten stuck here. this is directing us deep into the bells of fair. Normally we would not be hit probably like half an hour game time. At this point I'm gonna backtrack because otherwise all we're gonna end up doing is going through that passage where yeah, I can't overstate how amazing having the Various suit this early is. Not only does this cut the amount of damage we take in half, it's going to make it so not only we can go through Norfair on our first trip, but it's going to make Kraid's Lair basically a walk in the park because that place is full of acid. So let's get back on track. He wants us to go to there, so might as well do that, if only some other stuff in there. Okay, so now we have the bombs, we can blow this up. Carefully pop over. You need to farm energy. These nests will actually spawn enemies infinitely. This game is really generous with the recharge, though, so we shouldn't need to do that. Uh-oh, chat. I think the big brain in the jar knows what's up. Right. And it takes us to Norfair, the volcanic zone. We need to go right, but we can't yet. Why we can't? I could bomb jump up here, but I'm not going to. Otherwise, we can't get up that ledge yet. See if there's anything to the left instead. Okay, so here's one of our big improvements from the original of this game, where the developers have obviously kind of figured out how to signal to the players what they need to do. Like, in the original, this was just a solid wall. There was nothing visible on the other side. Well, whereas now, you see that little black void over there, you wonder, hey, what is that? Can I get over there? Yes, I can. I just need to shoot through this here. One of the very big problems with the original is there are all sorts of places where you need to go through walls like that, and they were just completely nondescript. The only way you would know that you needed to go through them was trial and error, or having a walkthrough. So this is a completely new area for this one, although it's someplace Super Metroid established was on the planet. This is Criteria, the surface of planet Zebes. We actually don't spend much time up here. A couple of items here. Oops. The usual, Samus is in a giant, bulky, awkward suit. Anytime we fall in the water, he's going to be severely. Make these ones right here. Upgrade. That's ominous. Analysis inconclusive. Item incompatible with current suit. Dang it, Samus, I told you to download all of your updates before we left. So yeah, we just got a thing that we totally can't use right now. The only function it currently serves is to let us blow through these blocks right here. I will leave it to you to guess what these abilities we're going to get are. I will give you a hint. We're going to get a couple of these incompatible items. They are all things that we would not have been able to acquire in the first game because they didn't exist yet. This little right here is gone. Up. Not much to do here. Things this big old hole. If we really want to, we can wall jump over this, but there isn't anything to get. The wall jump is one of the secret abilities that Samus has had for a couple of games. One of the annoying stop having fun kids things that Metroid Fusion did was they made it so if you use the wall jump you were pushed away from the wall. It was not possible to just repeatedly jump up the same wall like this is. Luckily they saw fit to give us the build back. Right now we are stuck in this little chasm right here. Okay, because it's trying to filter us over to this. Rip. This is technically, but also isn't a new ability. Grab and hang from ledges. So we now have the ability basically to just to grab ledges and pull ourselves up. Samus actually gained the ability to do this in Metroid Fusion, but the gameplay explanation for that is because she was using a much lighter suit. Power suit was supposed to be too heavy to let her do that. The power grip is a hand wave, so we still get to use that ability while still carting around a giant block of metal. So yeah, we can grab on the ledges, pull ourselves up, and if it's a narrow passage up above, we'll automatically morph ball so we there. Oh, good. I forgot where we went. So here is Samus's famous faithful gunship. This is actually the only time this particular design is used in the series. Okay, that we have gone in a loop. So yeah, our trip to criteria is basically only to get the power grip. There's really not anything else we can do right now. Now that we can get into this little passage, and missile up. Now, if we really wanted to, we could just completely skip the power grip. I don't think there's any ledges or passages to get through that's you can't get to either by infinite bomb jumping or by wall jumping, but makes it so much quicker, so I'm gonna get it anyway. Okay, power grip lets us grab this little missile right here. That's all there really is to do in this passage, so we're gonna get back towards it. Incidentally, save rooms are brand new. The NES release of Metroid only had a password feature because it was a port from the Famicom Disk System version. That one did let you save, but that's because it was on a floppy disk, whereas the US release they did in cartridge, and they had not really figured out a way to make battery backup cost-effective yet. Can't get that pencil yet. This little passage always makes it look like there's something up here, but there isn't. Okay, so this room right here was basically the most important room in the entire game. In order to actually beat the game, Ridley is down below us. In order to beat the game, you would have had to find this room and then figure out that you could bomb through it. Now, as with that ball over to the left, it's basically completely undifferentiated. You can't see anything below. There is not really any indication in-game in the original that you can go through there. Contrast with now, where you can very clearly both see these separate blocks, and also there's a little passage down there. Incidentally, though, we can't go down there yet. We need an ability we don't have yet. This room you have to be very careful just because of these evenly spaced single blocks. Green door. Can't do anything about that. We're kind of stuck in here. Right, here's the ice beam, our first major upgrade aside from the charge beam. Beam can freeze enemies in place. You can safely stand on frozen lines. So this is a pretty major attack upgrade. I think it doubles our beam strength. It also does this. The ice beam is so cold that it suspends the laws of physics and will actually freeze enemies in place, allowing us to use them as platforms. These rippers are normally indestructible, but now we can use them as platforms. Alternately, if you want to completely skip the ice beam, you can just wall jump up here. Same thing, I can either freeze this guy and jump on him. Sudden jump. I'm really determined, I can just wall jump up here. Okay, so at this point, the game wants us to completely leave Norfair, go back to Brinstar, and then go fight Kraid, our first major boss, where we're going to get a upgrade that'll let us progress back down here. I am not going to do that, because I mentioned that the developers kind of designed this game around sequence breaking. I'm gonna show you a break that very obviously they put in here for a reason. There's no other reason this little tunnel is here. It's fuck authority. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I gotta wait for him to come back and get against the wall. You don't want to step on those blocks because otherwise it's a one-way trip down and you have to go through the ice beam room again. But yeah, if I use a missile up here, fall through this little shaft. I need to bomb about 3/4 of the way up, so I'm gonna have to infinite bomb jump again. Oh, we're going down. In this, we are bypassing that floor that we couldn't get through before. now that we're here, let's take the opportunity to pillage the place. Okay, so this passage over here is going to take us straight to Ridley. Not gonna go there yet. So, this would Chozo statue would normally guide us. It's in the sitting position because we've already got the thing it would normally tell us to go get. I will explain that sequence in just a sec after I get this next item. Careful with these guys. Ton of damage. High jump increases maximum jump height and adds the ability to jump in morph ball mode. Just a straight mobility upgrade. Okay, so here's what the game wants us to do. We are supposed to come here, get the ice beam, go up back through Brinstar, go down to Kraid, get another upgrade, come back to Norfair, use that to get the high jump boots, leave Norfair again, go back to Brinstar, go up and get the various suit, go back down to Norfair where the high jump boots were, and then we can proceed. That's 3 trips. We are going to skip those. We are going to come down here once, and that's it. So, that passage is there by design, but had we not done that skip and gotten the various suit, we would not be able to come through here because this room is superheated. We'd currently be taking damage. So we are going to just blow off Kraid entirely for right now, go fight Ridley instead. Okay, so normally to get through here, we would need that upgrade that Kraid's got. Actually just bomb jump through here instead. Yeah. If you're wondering why I keep pulling up that menu, the Wii U gamepad has a set of shoulder buttons that are located on the back of it, placed in such a way that if you put the gamepad on a table or, say, prop it up in your lap like I'm doing, it's very easy to bump them. That was just me trying to shift this thing around. Anyway, here we go. One. That guy normally does a ton of damage, but he is powerless before our missiles. Okay, so I am about to get what would normally be pretty much the last upgrade in this game. It's in the room above us. Normally to get this, we would need to beat both Kraid and Ridley, and then Kraid would link us to a secret passage that would take us up here. Or, actually just missile blocks up here. Gotta blow our way through the ceiling, and then you can either bomb jump or wall jump your way up there. Yeah, so this skip is incredibly easy to do, and there's no reason not to, because the thing we're about to get is so incredibly useful. Okay. These ones with the fire butts are called Ripper 2s, and we normally cannot do anything to damage them. So we couldn't. Here's our friend the screw attack. This turns Samus's entire body into a weapon while we are somersaulting. Can't take damage from the majority of attacks. And, well, I'll show you the other things. Does this. Remember how I said those things are indestructible? Not when the screw attack's involved. The other thing the screw attack does in this game is that there are actually particular blocks that you need the screw attack to get through. It's these ones. Okay, we can't get through that green door for now, which is fine. If we had only done a couple of skips, we'd be able to get that early. Okay. One sec, I just need to pull something up. Sorry for not doing this before. I had to close down everything on my desktop just to make sure they lag. Okay, there we go. Just pulling up the map on my end because this area is kind of a big old complicated mess of tunnels and I hate it. Alright, see that single lone block at the bottom and there's kind of a little hint of something down there? It's because this lava here is fake. I really hate that this is here, but it kind of has to be because this was in the original. Although this time they at least did a slightly better job of highlighting it. Okay, so this lava... Nope, that lava's not fake. Can't get through there yet. I love the different tile sets in Norfair. You've got rocky volcanic tunnels. We've got these weird little things like, is this room organic? Are these geological formations? I don't know. Doesn't have any reason to tell us. Okay, we go down right here. Yeah, this is a whole mess of horizontal tunnels. Basically, all of them will let you hop between them if you happen to know that you can destroy the floor. Like, the screw attack is so good, I don't really need to bother with my gun most of the time. It's hidden up here, there's another missile tank. Too many weird little items like that. There is an upgrade we'll get at some point that makes it easier to find hidden stuff. Unfortunately, it's going to be the very last upgrade we get, so it's not going to be useful until the very end of the game. Lines are new. Alright, let's go get an upgrade. got him. That's best to shoot that guy as fast as possible, otherwise he's gonna do a ton of damage. Right, here's the wave beam. This beam, which is made up of energy waves, can pass through solid objects. In other words, we can actually shoot through bullets. Aside from being a straight damage upgrade, normally the use for this is to be able to trigger one-way gates from the other side. I don't think there are any of those in this one, but honestly being able to shoot through walls is its own reward. This would be very helpful in taking out Ridley, but we've got the screw attack because we're breaking this game open, so we don't need it. Okay, so normally we would go down this passage, fight a couple little bosses, and then that would drop us at the bottom where Ridley is. Unfortunately, need that crate upgrade to get through here, and I've experimented. I don't think there's any way to get through here, so unfortunately we're going to have to do a little bit of backtracking. Still way less backtracking than it would be if we had gotten the high jump and then had to go back to get the Varia like the game would wanted us to. Hello, lava room. Yeah, you can destroy half this column right here, and I don't know why other than to throw you off. Okay, almost back on track. Yeah, I made it. Hello, Kino, how are you? Did you take an after-work nap again? Alright, so recap for anyone who has just popped in. My goal for this playthrough is basically to do a whole ton of sequence breaking. So we have gotten the Varia suit extremely early, which lets us explore Norfair before we would otherwise be able to. I've also gotten the screw attack, which is going to trivialize most of the upcoming areas. There is one other commonly done skip in this game. It's not doable along this path. I'll show you where it is. Normally, if you would do that one if you went to Kraid first. Sadly, without Kraid's upgrade, we can't get that particular item. And in any case, there's actually multiple ways to get it, and we're actually going to get it the way we're intended to shortly. Remember when I was scared of these guys 5 minutes ago? Okay, so let's retrace our footsteps. Yeah, incidentally, taking that shaft lets us blow up this little missile block, which also lets us skip having to do a little serpentine motion through this, normally we would go through, get the high jump boots, go through that passage where we got the wave beam, come back through, and then we would speed booster through You'd speed booster through the floor over there, and then we could use that missile block to make a shortcut. Since that convenient secret passage drops us to the very bottom, we're basically able to access any part of here at go. These vines, I wonder why these are... This is why. This is actually the second mini-boss. This is completely new for this version of the game. Basically, this poor little grub has gotten trapped by those vines, and we're going to set it free out of the goodness of our heart. But it's pretty simple. Basically, all we have to do is wait for this little ripper to get over there, freeze him, jump up, and then shoot the vines. We can't actually hurt the grubs. If you come in here without the ice beam, it's still doable, but you're gonna have to sit and wall jump up every single time just to get over to him. Because that guy's stuck down there. We can't interact with him anymore. At least not for right now. Alright, we got 2 statue heads. Because this is technically the second boss we're supposed to fight. It's Ridley. Hey, Ridley. Ridley originally appeared in this game and its remake. However, normally he is basically the single most recurring boss in this entire series. There's basically only one game where he normally doesn't appear, and when that game got remade, it got retconned, so Ridley's going to be there too. Okay, so you'll note that the grub just moved. Can't get through the door yet, but the fact that he's moved is a clue that we should go back and see what's happening up there. Show you this real quick, and then hopefully we'll have a minute or two to recap this game's backstory. Dang, this little guy sure tunnels fast, huh? And hatched in the 3 seconds we were gone. Good boy. Yeah, this mini-boss is weird. Mostly you just gotta kind of trail behind him and shoot missiles at his butt. Okay. Ah, crap, I'm out of missiles. There we go. Phew. Okay, we didn't trigger the cutscene correctly, so... Okay, so we have to let him go up there, and come over here, and now he's gonna blow through those for us. And here's our next item, the super missiles. Select fire. Green hatches. Alright, so these were a new item for Super Metroid. They have been backported to this one. Super missiles have 2 functions. One, they do 3 times as much damage as ordinary missiles. 2, they will let us blow through green hatches and the occasional super missile block. Somehow I do not remember fighting Giant Bug. I mean, I don't think you would have discovered the super missile skip on your own, so honestly, he's such a weird little stopgap that it's probably pretty easy to forget him. Alright. This here energy tank is a trap. We're to just randomly wander across this, we would fall to the floor. Instead, we're gonna hop. Okay, phew. Fallen, we would have to go down and loop back around to actually get this. Have to very carefully not screw attack here. That freaking disintegrates. Show me. Yeah, early high jump is pretty easy to do though. We'll show you guys early super missile once we get back there. But honestly, it requires an ability the game does not show you how to do, so I think it honestly would be really hard to stumble across it without some sort of clue that it's there already, at least on a first playthrough. Alright, so anyway, as for our buddy Ripley, he and Samus actually have a history. So, at the very beginning in the intro, it mentioned that this was Samus's childhood home. Basically, Samus is a space orphan. She grew up on a colony called K2L, which they were, I don't remember what it's called, they were mining some sort of unobtainium mineral there. Space pirates decided to attack and take it, led by Ridley. Ridley actually personally killed Samus's parents and was whisked away before he could finish the job, so Samus was kind of left on the planet by herself. The only thing that the colonists had managed to do before perishing was set off the distress signal. That distress signal actually summoned the Chozo, who were the closest people to the planet. The Chozo are a race of sentient bird people. We don't really get to see them at any point during the series. All we get to see is their technology. Those statues that we pick up items from are actually the Chozo. And all those items that are left behind are Chozo tech. Yeah, the Chozo found Samus as the only survivor and took her over to their home on planet Zibbies. Sorry, checking the map. Zibbies, as you've seen, is a very harsh place. It's full of acid and heat and nasty monsters, so in order for Samus to be able to survive, they actually augmented her, injecting her with Chozo DNA. The Chozo are supposedly a very benevolent race who had a warlike past. They had kind of, you know, lost their martial instincts at this point in time. Samus, they realized, though, kind of is a true warrior. So they actually trained her in their martial arts and gave her the power suit, which was based on ancient Chozo armor. You'll note that the game has not really told us any of this, that's because Samus's backstory is entirely an ancillary material. The first time any of this was mentioned was around the release of Super Metroid. There was a comic that came out in Nintendo Power that detailed the whole saga with K2L and the Chozo. I think that's the first time the word Chozo is actually used. Like, the game manuals mention the statues, but they just call them bird statues. Okay, we gotta be very careful here. What we're gonna do is... Nope, set the room. Basically, I need to freeze those guys and jump on them to get across. Yep. Ah! Annoying as it is, I'm gonna loop back through because there's a bunch of items up there. This room, there is an enemy gauntlet. We can actually just bomb through the floor right here. Bypass the entire thing to get us another energy tank. All the masked birds are stuck in a box. Yeah, they are. You need the speed booster to get in there, so I'm just like, okay, how did you guys get in there? Were they experimenting with speed? Is that what happens when harmless creatures use drugs? They get stuck in a little passage for all eternity? So yeah, the Super Metroid comic was American-based. The RE masked birded real fast, okay? Catch it. Oh, got it, okay. Where are these Stigas? Normally these guys are a pain in the butt. Not with the screw attack. Okay, so there is a missile right here. And there's a... Whoop, there's another missile right here. Missiles, that's a lot, right? Nope. There's another missile up here. Okay. I kind of got that one by accident. I was trying to get back up there, but normally you have to shoot through the little block that's in front of here and unmorph so that you can grab onto the ledge. Okay, that thing we just used is a new feature of this game. It's called the bomb launcher. Basically, you hop in there in morph ball mode and plant a bomb, and it'll propel you until you hit the ceiling. Those are actually introduced in Create's Lair. We're going to get a bunch of them there. So yeah, that was 5 upgrades. There's a reason why I actually took the time to do that little section. So in addition to that Super Metroid comic, and I think it was 2004, there was an official manga released that basically retold all the previous bits with Samus. It also mentioned the history of the X-parasites that we encountered in Metroid Fusion, and also was the first introduction of Adam Malkovich, Samus's old CO. The only other mention we get, the only other time he's brought up in the series is in Metroid Other M, which we are skipping because it's just kind of a gross, horrible character assassination of everybody involved. I will complain about Other M next week when Samus returns, because we'll be past that point in the timeline. Upgrade. Another unknown item. Allegedly a suit upgrade. Analysis inconclusive. Item incompatible with current suit. Sit back here as the tank. Yeah, much as with that incompatible beam upgrade, if you have paid very close attention to the abilities that we've picked up throughout the series, you should actually be able to guess what that is. I am not going to say. I'm going to leave that all up to you to speculate. You'll notice we went through one of those boss doors to get here, and this is why. What's up, Ridley? Now. Stop. Stop it with the fire. Come on. Okay, honestly, this guy is really difficult if you're doing a low percent run. But if you're playing through normally, honestly, the way to beat him is just to shoot missiles at him as fast as possible. Looks like we're gonna die. Yep. Ugh. Sucks, I have not died in a while. Stuff up there, we just gotta get that upgrade and try again. I probably would have gotten him if I had not forgotten that super missiles are a thing. You'll note that I really have not used those other than to open up doors and whatnot. Mostly because they don't drop very quickly and we've only got 6 of the freaking things. Okay, this time I'm going to be smart and I'm going to blow all my super missiles on it. This thing. Shoot the fireballs. Ugh, I hate the tail thing. Come on, stop that. Ooh, got him. That was close. Alright, and we've officially killed the second boss first. He's generally not too bad if you come here in the order you're intended to, because he should have more energy tanks than I do. Generally, either he goes down like a chump, or he sits there and spams a tail attack and kills us like we saw. Sorry, Bird Box. Like, yeah, literally, I can't get those guys out of there. They're just gonna have to suffer. I mean, I could shoot them. Slow, trying to go quickly. Previous games, I have generally been trying to go for either the best ending, which in this one is under 2 hours, or 100% items, or both. On this one, I'm going to be going for best ending. I will not be doing a 100% run because it honestly kind of sucks. Like Fusion, in order to actually do it, you basically need to leave the final area and then come back and then do a whole big ol' loop and get a bunch of items that you can't get otherwise because you need the very final upgrade that's in the very final area to even get them. And most of those are upgrades for that particular item, so you're basically not even going to get to enjoy them for very long. Really hope that I don't keep doing that every single game. I very much prefer Super Metroid, where you can get basically everything early if you know how. Let's recharge real quick. Should be good. So anyway, the Metroid manga never actually got officially translated in English, which is a shame. However, there is a fan translation, and I eventually post this video on YouTube. I will link to it there. So you'll notice the statue collapsed, giving us this new little passage over here. And our helpful helper statues have been destroyed. This would normally be the last one. Wouldn't need it, because all we need to do is go to Japan. I honestly kind of like that they do that, though. Just kind of an indication it's okay. Kid gloves are coming off. You're gonna have to figure out what the heck to do on your own. Alright. So, there are a couple other areas in here that we could go through. Mostly it'd be to pick up extra missiles and whatnot. There are a couple extra super missiles, which we could not get because we didn't have them yet. But otherwise, by getting the Varia suit early and then using that secret passage, instead of having to instead of having to go back between Brinstar and Norfair several times, we're actually just going to leave here and never come back. We have completely obliterated the need to ever visit Norfair in this playthrough ever again, other than for item hunt. Okay, so there's two ways to get around that speed booster block. You can use the screw attack, or let's go for okay, I'd have to let's do that. Okay, yeah, hidden right here is one of those ball launchers. That'll actually get us completely out of this little area. Okay, here's a missile we could not get before because we couldn't get up there. We need to do it. Screw attack is great and also kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so get that missile, we need to let this guy up, and then freeze him, and... Samus, are you trying to spite me? I swear, I tapped the beam to unsomersault. I don't know why I did that. Ah! Okay. Successfully navigated my own unstoppable power. Okay, incidentally, you're supposed to get the ice beam to actually get back out of here. supposed to freeze the rippers and jump on them. You can either wall jump out of the shaft, or you can wait until you've got the screw attack, in which case you can just go through the sides. So with Norfair down, we are actually going to go ahead and fight Kraid now. We can skip fighting Kraid for half of the game, but we have to fight him eventually. As far as I know, there is no way of getting through the tunnel to Torian without fighting both bosses. Brinestar's sister planet covered in ocean, Brinestar. Honestly, that sounds like a planet in the Kirby game. He's from the planet Popstar, and like in the 64 one, you got to visit Rockstar and a couple of other themed planets. Okay, so this little secret here has a missile. And then it'll show us this here super missile, but we can't get through it yet. Incidentally, this is that other sequence break I mentioned. Normally, if you go through Kraid, you will get the item we need to get that early, and then you'd be able to go back to Norfair with super missiles. Doing that, not only would you be able to open up all those various doors that we had to skip, if you really wanted to, you would also be able to skip the bug mini-boss. Instead of having to loop back around, fight him, get super missiles, come back, and then go through that super missile door in Ridley's area, you could just blow the door open and skip it. Okay, so there is an energy tank up here. The way to get it is the infinite bomb jumps, so here we go. Shoulder button. I would play with a different controller, but the gamepad is actually the only Wii U compatible thing I've got. Never grabbed any of the classic controllers. Let's go say hi to our buddy. Okay, so Kraid is in the lower left corner. Incidentally, in the original, there's this whole area up in the upper right corner that was completely useless. I don't think there was even any items up there. The remake, they have actually repurposed that whole area, so to actually make progress, we are going to have to go up there first, actually. Oh, look, Acid. Oh. Sorry, Acid. You did a whole bunch of very bad things, and now you're not even remotely threatening. Side hoppers, they would normally take a couple of missiles, or you can just blow through them. Dang it. Okay, yeah, we normally need to find this here ball launcher to get up there. Really, we need to bomb jump. Ordinarily we'd need to go back through, but we can just either bomb jump or wall jump up to here. This right here is a sort of blind thing. It's not doing anything because we currently don't have power for it. That fixed. stuck in here briefly. I need to go through that middle passage first, and this zipline actually function. Okay, gonna bomb this thing. Now the track is glowing, which means it's active. In order to actually get the carts over to either side, we just have to shoot the button. If you need to, you can disconnect from these early by jumping. At least one area where we're gonna have to do that in order to get an item. Okay, normally we're supposed to come over here, loop through. Put the box, dig the thing over here, and trigger this here little mini boss. So this guy is going to jump out and try to grab us. We need to use the zip line to get over to the other side. You need to time it so it hits the block. If you're too fast, he will lunge at you and then go back down. Oh no, he's messing with the acid. How terrible. Yeah, I feel bad for this guy. Early Various who just realizes this. Alright. The acid, let's go down. Missile over here, you can see by that cracked block. Now. I thought there was a way out, but there's not. Let's have to go back real quick. Okay, good. Normally this series of rooms would be one way because normally we would not have the high jump boots either, so we wouldn't be able to make that jump. You would have to actually turn the line on to get back out. Okay, that little tour gone, we can actually go through. Explore the rest of Kraid's lair. Incidentally, I like most of the remixes in this game, but not really this one. It might just be me, but I found the original tune to just be kind of incredibly haunting. Like, when I was a kid, I hated that music so much I was actually scared of this area. This version's not bad, it's just not scary. Okay, there's an energy tank over there, but we can't get to it yet because we need Kraid's upgrade. Oh, I missed an upgrade. Okay, had I gone through first, we spotted this little missile room, but have no way of getting to it. Come back through at the save point. Okay, now we can proceed. to shoot the bullets. That's okay. Just back over. Yeah, ordinarily it would not be able to. It would not be possible to get over that big old lake thing. Let's see. Okay. Is a missile hidden in here, but it's. Oh, dang it. Can't get it, I've forgotten. Can't. Okay. We can't get that missile at all yet. We need an in-game upgrade for it. So up here. Interesting. If you go all the way into this little nook, the acid down there disappears. Yeah, in order to progress, we need to see that and go through, and it's fake acid. And I hate that that's there, but it kind of has to be because it was there in the original. Have carefully preserved a lot of the really weird things about the original. They've tried to breadcrumb them whenever possible. Might be wondering how we're going to get that because it's in that little narrow passage. It's a secret ability the zipline has that I'll show you in a second. First off, we need to actually clear out these little columns so we can get it through there. Yep. Interestingly enough, if you get into it, you can ride the zipline while in Morph Ball mode. I think it's only useful there and in one other area. Anyway, there's a secret passage right here that's a couple ways to get the crate, but this one's faster. Shoot those blocks, go up the ceiling and should get up. And yet another unknown item. Like, seriously, Samus, I know you hate it, but you can't keep using Windows 7 forever. Yeah, same thing. That's not going to do anything, but it'll at least let us blow up these little blocks so we can get out of here. an interesting thing about that little passage up there is there used to be a fake Kraid hiding in there. I don't think... The two of them looked identical. I don't know if it was possible to tell he was fake, other than the fact that he took less damage. I imagine it was entirely possible to find him, kill him, think that you'd killed Kraid because he looks like the guy in the manual, and then have to go back. Hey Kraid, nice to see you again. Yeah, if you recall, the original Kraid used to be the same size as Samus. This time they've basically just copied the fight from Super Metroid. Which is fine, it's a really cool set piece even if it's not very hard. Anyway, same thing. You gotta shoot him in the eyes with either a charge shot or missiles in order to get him to open his mouth. And you just feed him missiles until he stops moving. Yeah, this guy isn't too bad regardless, you just gotta have good timing. Sorry, buddy, it's not our fault that you're a load-bearing boss. Back here, let's go see what we get. And it's a speed booster. And until speed boost begins to break. And until to break certain blocks and damage enemies. I hate those line breaks. So the speed booster was introduced in Super Metroid. Does the same basic thing in this one. If you get up if you have enough runway to get up to speed, you'll become invincible and start busting through any speed booster blocks you encounter. They're the ones with the green triangles on them. One more missile up here, but otherwise I've gotten everything getting here. Recall our previous playthroughs, the speed booster also nets us another ability called the super jump or the shine spark. Basically, while we're in speed booster mode, I'm gonna show it off real quick because we got the space here. Press down the charge and then jump to shoot in any direction. Metroid Fusion gave us the ability to resume running if we shine spark into a slope. This one adds yet another wrinkle. And we are going to need that ability to get the early super missile. Oops. Last, the screw attack is our best friend and also our worst enemy. Anyway, this little bit's cool. Jump up here. And this... Well, I blew through them pretty quickly, but that Horgeo starts following us. Fun little set piece. Found out the air. It's worth getting it. Yeah, I can pop down and get them. technically I didn't... I can show you this little... Anytime... Not every time, but every time in here that there's a ball launcher, you'll see that little piece of iconography right there. Which I appreciate since half of them are hidden. Okay, so to get that missile, we need to trigger this with a bomb. And then jump out of the zip line while we're over that little shaft in order to grab that missile. Fun little puzzle. Okay, and we're done with grade. Okay, so to remind us of what the game wanted us to do, back in Norfair, right after we got the Ice Beam, we were supposed to come up here, go and fight Kraid and get the Speed Booster. The Speed Booster, we were supposed to go back to Norfair, use that to get to through the first part of that vertical shaft, get the high jump boots, and then with the high jump boots, we were supposed to come back to Brinstar, go up and get the Varia suit, and then go back down and fight Ridley. So, right after that, once we'd gotten the Wave Beam, we would have gotten Super Missiles. I'm going to show you how to get the early Super Missiles. Now, technically, we're not getting them early because we got them at what would normally be the normal time, just different early. They would still be early if you did Kraid before Ridley. Which, there are perfectly good reasons to do that, even if you were skipping. You could always get the Varia suit and the high jump boots, which would make Kraid easy. Then get the Speed Booster. It'd get you early Super Missiles, and then make it so that you could blow through all of Norfair without having to double back like I did. Otherwise, with Kraid and Ridley gone, we're actually clear to go through the Turian after I get these missiles here. Okay, so earlier we went to this little secret passage, got the missile, and showed you this super missile that was gated off by speed booster blocks, and then we booped through the wall and fell out right here. Instantly, on the other side of this tunnel, there is yet another secret passage with a missile in it. Note these speed booster blocks because they're going to be important. We don't actually have to go through them. If we wanted to just use this as a shortcut, we just need to bomb through. Alright, so this is going to be our first Shine Spark puzzle. This game loves Shine Spark puzzle. All of the in-game items that I'm not going to get are behind Shine Spark stuff, which I hate and I'm not going to do. Okay, so I need a speed boost. In order to do that, we need to make a longer pass, so we're going to start running from back here. Okay. Get it wrong, I know what I need to do. Okay. So we go into this room. It's hard to do it when you screen transition because the temptation is there to let go of the input early. Okay, so we speed boost, we come back through here, we get down here, and we do the ball spark. The ball spark is the ability... Ah, screwed up. Yeah, that's a new ability for this game. You can actually get in Morph Ball mode and then trigger the Shine Spark, which will let you get through narrow passages. You need to do 2 ball sparks to get through here. I screwed up the second one. It's okay. One more try. This honestly isn't too bad if you know it's here. I had no idea this is here. I only know about this because of YouTube. Okay. Trigger Shine Spark. Come over here. Go off the slope so we get into here. Trigger it again. Go back to the slope. Oh. Shine Spark. It's a neat ability, but I hate how enamored they are with the Shine Spark because, like, you have to... You trigger it by pressing jump, right? But you also have the ability to somersault jump while you've got the charge going. And there are several times where you need to have an active charge and be jumping around. So it's really hard to either trigger it by accident or not trigger it when you mean to, like I did just there. Okay, first one. Second one. I didn't go far enough back. Yeah, you'll note that when we ball spark, we hop up one tile and then start dashing. That's why I'm going back to these little slopes, because we have to be on a neutral plane to do it. Okay, I can do it. Get back through. Ball spark. Get that slope, charge up again, come back. Right, this is my penance for getting the various suit skip on the first try. It's going to take me like 6 tries to do this one. Okay, charge it, go back. There we go. Alright, so if we do that, we would be able to get a super missile immediately after Kraid. We would have them early for the second part of Norfair, and we'd be able to skip that bug boss if we wanted to. Because, unlike our normal upgrades, anytime you get a super missile anywhere, it counts as acquiring the upgrade. There's actually 3 different ways to get it. You can get the super missile right after the bug guy, which is the normal way. There's this one, which is the intended skip, and then if you remember in Ridley's Lair, there was that weird little vertical shaft where I had to freeze the Volas to get across. Every other super missile in the game is behind a super missile block or a door. So you need super missiles to get super missiles. That one is just sitting out in the open, so it's possible to get through Ridley's Lair in the opposite direction. There's a little passage on the right side. So that would be the other opportunity to get super missiles if you skipped the other 2. I did all those in weird order, but I got all of those super missiles because they're entirely too useful not to get. Anyway, our 2 bosses are gone, that tunnel is open, and the path to Torian and Mother Brain, the boss of the Space Pirates, is open. That's the end of the game. To do that, I'm gonna detour up here because I'm not missile. Alright, chat, remember that thing that I told you I was gonna quiz you on and then quizzed you on repeatedly? Well, it's quiz time again, and this time I'm not even going to tell you what I'm quizzing you about until we get here, so I hope that you really paid attention and can already anticipate what it is. Sorry if that made no sense and I sound like a lunatic. Reason 5 misses. Yes! Come on, gold star, you are now my star pupil. You graduate from Bounty Hunter Academy with honors. Okay, so with both these guys dead, okay, open their big old creepy mouths and let us through. Right, so those right there, these here, life-sucking organisms are Metroids. I didn't recap the plot because we'd already done this once before, but basically the space pirates intercepted these guys after they were picked up on an unexplored planet by a Federation research vessel. They very quickly realized that they were creepy life-sucking parasites which they could use for biological warfare, and also that if you expose them to beta rays, they multiplied very quickly. So the reason that the Federation has actually sent Samus here is to destroy these things before the space pirates use them to create an army of unstoppable flying parasites that can't be destroyed. And here's our first Metroid. Missiles just bounce off of them. Screw attack does nothing, and if it grabs us, it's going to sit here and suck our energy. We need to use the bombs to get it off. The only way to destroy it, as Vaughn has told us, is to freeze it and then shoot it with either 5 missiles or 1 super missile. It's the exact same here, and so in the original game, the beams were mutually exclusive. You could have the ice beam or the wave beam, but you couldn't have both, and picking up one would replace the other. Now, the wave beam was unquestionably a better weapon in that game, so it was very possible to come here and counter the Metroids, which you need to freeze to destroy and then be unable to kill them. You would have to figure that out and then go back and get the ice beam in order to get through here. In this one, since the beam stack will always have the ice beam, so it's not really a gotcha like it was in the original. The main wrinkle now is they unfreeze incredibly fast. So you need to make sure that you're on the same plane and then start shooting as quickly as possible. Or you can just shoot them with 1 super missile, but we don't have a lot of them and we're going to need them. Yeah, this is a new touch, all these desiccated space pirates. Mother Brain is not a very good boss. These little flame things here are called Rinkas. This green variant is new. It's just as easy to destroy, but goes a little faster. Honestly, the Rinkas are more dangerous than the Metroids because there's so many of them and you respawn constantly. This is going to be the 3rd time that we fought Mother Brain. We killed her in the original, and then she came back in Super Metroid. And for both of those fights, honestly, like, Mother Brain is a brain in the jar. There's not much she can do. The main problem was the little guns that she's surrounded by and these stupid Rinkas. Honestly, the best thing you can do is freeze them, because the little spawners will only put 1 on screen at a time, so if you freeze them, they're out of the way, and no more will actually spawn. Note that we're locked in here. This little room is new. Ah! Yeah, you can see the Metroids floating in the background, so you know they're coming. You're already aware that they're there, but... Alright, there's another tier here. First time through, it's real easy to just drop into the middle of this room and end up with 3 of them on you. Nasty little new surprise, because all these rooms were straight shots before. I don't save, but I am just out of... Yeah. Go. These columns are called Zebatites. They are Mother Brain's support system. Take a bunch of missiles to destroy, and if you don't keep firing, they'll actually regenerate. Honestly, we have so much health and so many missiles we need to blow through. Alright, and here she is, our favorite fish in a barrel. Hey, Mother Brain, you suck, and there's nothing. Oh! Yeah. In the original, she would just sit here and take it. Mostly a matter of trying to dodge the shots and the rinkas and whatnot, not fall in lava and die. Remake, she's at least figured out how to defend herself. And there we go. Alright, and here's our final escape sequence. Ah! This time around, there's a new wrinkle. The little freaking blocks will disintegrate if you stand on them too long. Not too bad, you just gotta proceed carefully. There aren't any animals to save in this one, so there isn't actually any reason to detour. We've gotta get back to the ship before the planet blows up. Mother Brain is a spiteful, spiteful person. Okay. Get the speed boost right there, and I screwed up, so we gotta get back. Gotta make sure we open the door in advance and we'll be okay. Alright, and there we go. That's Zero Mission. Let's see how we did. Mission accomplished, just gotta get out of here. Okay, just a blockade. Nothing to worry about. We're done. We're out of here. Ike. Timing of my escape couldn't have been worse. I was attacked by space pirates and left nearly defenseless, stripped of my power suit. All I had for protection was my rather useless emergency pistol. Infiltrating the space pirate mothership so armed me, but I had no choice. Did I survive long enough to escape? Pistol. An auto-charging pistol. Stun enemies with charged shots. Alright, so the original game ended at that point. This right here is an entirely new sequence for the original. for the remake, sorry. And for the very first time, we are Samus without the piece of equipment that makes her so feared. As noted, we don't have any of our upgrades. All we've got is this little dinky gun. Got stuck, yeah. This whole thing is a stealth sequence. And I remember where Kino got stuck. At the very end, there are two, like, elite space pirates that'll jump all over you. And they're kind of a pain in the butt to take out if you don't have a ton of extra health like I do. Right, so for the sequence, we are alone, outgunned, and we have to get through this entire area without being either seen or shot to death. It is possible to get through this whole sequence without being detected. I almost never pull it off, and I probably won't here. Nope. See, I already screwed up. Okay, so the normal shots with this thing don't do anything. You have to actually sit and let it charge up, and then your shots will stun these guys long enough to get through. Otherwise, this is a completely enforced stealth sequence. We cannot kill any of these pirates. The best we can do is just survive long enough to escape. I actually don't know how to get through that area without setting off that laser. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Incidentally, this is the first appearance of what would become known as the Zero Suit. Basically the outfit that Samus wears under Power Suit. Supposedly it is a piece of tech into and of itself. Like, I think like the art books and whatnot have said that it's kind of an interface layer that lets her control the suit. Previously, what Samus would be wearing when she was off duty would vary. At this point, her appearance is going to be standardized. If she's not wearing the Power Suit, she's going to be wearing the Zero Suit. And we get to see it again. The first time we see it again is in Smash Bros. Brawl. That's where they actually named it the Zero Suit. Also see it in Metroid Other M. Dang it. As well as Metroid Prime 2 at the end. The game knows this area sucks, so at this point, all of the save points you encounter will completely restore your energy. Much appreciated. Okay, come on, dodge the lasers. Dang it! And I was not trained for Mission Impossible scenarios, gosh darn it. Yep. Crap. Gotta be careful, because I can only take 2 more hits. Okay. Phew. So far, so good. And it is possible to get through this whole sequence without getting caught. But well, possible if you're not. It's possible if you don't just wander into them like that. Honestly, for most of these rooms, either I constantly screw up, or I just honestly don't remember how to get by some of these obstacles without triggering them. Okay, time for spy. These guys, they can't see you as long as you're behind blocks. Thing you have to be careful of is Samus's foot. They can see that while it's hanging out there. You need to make sure that the eyes don't go below you. Otherwise they'll spot her foot hanging out there and trigger. Alright, that room looks like it's safe, but the space pirate will just double back through that passage and spot us. This little shadowy bit right there is safe, though. We are almost through the section. Well, at least there was some sort of upgrade sitting on that pedestal above us, right? Maybe we can use that to get out of here. Nope. Come on, we were off screen for 2 seconds and somebody jacked it. Space pirates, you're not allowed to do actual piracy. Incidentally, I like that as a nice little bit of lampshade hanging because, I mean, Zebes is supposed to be infested with space pirates, and yet there's just like random Chozo things just sitting around in little rooms. Like, why is that stuff still there? Why don't they do something about it? In this instance, they actually do. Dang it. Incidentally, we have heard this piece of music before, but not in this game. This is just a remix of the main Criteria theme from Super Metroid. Sorry, buddy. Too slow. Okay, we are almost through this segment, I swear. Neat. We got some sort of Chozo monolith. Alright, you'll notice that he's showing us Samus's reflection. If we shoot that little orb while he's doing that, we take damage. Basically, we just need to wait for that little symbol here and then shoot it. Okay, there's 4 of those little indentations, so we only need to do this 4 times. Okay, one more. Almost done. Ah, too slow. Got it. Okay. What do you want, Statue Ghost? Alright. That right there was a test, and we just passed. And we just unlocked one of our unknown upgrades. That the whole time had been the Plasma Beam. This powerful beam can blast through multiple enemies. Our suit upgrade is the Gravity Suit. Reduces damage from foes, enables free movement in water, stops lava damage. And lastly, the Space Jump. Alright, now that we passed the Ruins test, we now have the fully upgraded version of Samus's armor. You'll note that triumphant remix of the Brinstar theme. Well, that is because we are now basically indestructible. So the Plasma Beam is traditionally Samus's most powerful beam upgrade. It has the neat bonus effect of piercing through enemies. The Gravity Suit lets us move freely underwater, also allowing us to use all of our normal abilities. And the Space Jump allows us to jump infinitely in midair, so we can basically fly at this point. Okay, you see all these little ramps right here? There is a Shine Spark puzzle right here. We would have to dash up these, charge, jump up here, dash into the slope, charge, and keep doing that. All down here, do it again. Let's see. Yeah, we would have had to get through right there, so we would have had to do like 8 Shine Sparks in a row. I hate that. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry guys, you can't make me. Yep, more super missiles. Yeah, as if we are not powerful enough, the gravity suit lets us go through lava like it's nothing. Hello, space pirates. I hope you had fun getting to be scary, because now I'm the frickin' scary one. Yeah, as annoying as that stealth sequence is, it is entirely worth it for this. We get to basically do a literal victory lap of the game. Yeah, I love that guy up there. He's freaking hiding. Anyway, we may be basically indestructible now, but our ship did blow up, so we need to loop back here and try to find something else we can use to get off this stupid planet. Okay, note this glass tunnel. If you were going for 100% items, this tunnel right here is very important. Just look at them. I feel so bad for them. Like 5 minutes ago they had spooky theme music and now we're just blowing through them. Okay, this is one of those elite pirates I mentioned. These guys we can't just screw attack. We need to either shoot them with super missiles or charged beams to destroy them. Here we've deactivated some sort of defense drones. This things suck. So you guys remember Super Metroid? We had to go through that area called the wrecked ship, which was full of ghosts and little robots and stuff. So this area right here is evidence that that ship was actually a Chozo ship. Because we're conveniently here next to some Chozo ruins, and both those little robots we saw on the wrecked ship and the weird little flying drone things make an appearance here. See, these guys, we've seen these before. They are unfortunately completely indestructible. Just gotta shoot them out of our way. Neat. Fight him though. Okay, well there's some ships there, but we can't get this door open. Looks like we're gonna have to come back real quick. Oh well. Ship to get through. Yeah, there is at least one forced encounter with these guys, but for the most part, you don't have to fight them, and there's no point. So, like, they don't even drop items. Come on, little guy. Bum, bum, bum. They haven't really gotten to do it, but the drones suck because they'll shoot lightning, which can actually damage you out of the screw attack. Okay, so if we try to go forward, we're going to get stuck because there's going to be a yellow door. What we need to do is come over here to this little shaft. Oh hey, it's you again. Huh, I guess I decided it belongs in a museum. I mean, honestly, we can just go through the beams and shoot the guards when they come. Alright, with that, we've got our very final upgrade, the power bombs. These things open yellow hatches and blocks, they do a ton of damage. And as a secondary function, you can use them to discover hidden passages. So earlier I mentioned there's a whole bunch of upgrades in this game that are gated behind the final upgrade. That would be this. It's actually completely impossible to get 100% of the items in the game without power bombs. You don't get these until the very end. There is absolutely no way to get them early. Like, there is a whole bunch of power bombs scattered through the areas we've been to, but all of them are behind power bomb doors or blocks. If we wanted 100% items at this point, we would take the power bombs. We'd go back to that glass shaft down there. If you recall previous shafts in Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion, we can blow those up with power bombs. Taking that, we'd be able to get back in the criteria. And from there, we would be able to use our newly acquired power bombs to get everything that's left in the game. Okay, so there is an energy tank down there. This is probably the second worst item in the game. I'm going to make one attempt to get this. Okay, so we have to super jump through here, and then we cannot touch these lasers. If we do, the item's going to get blocked off, so we have to be very careful. Nope, I already screwed up. Okay, one more. I'll give it one more attempt. Nope. Yeah, so you have to very carefully skip through here, and then through here, and then you'd have to get to the end without touching any of the freaking lasers, and it's almost impossible, and... ugh. Yeah, there's two reasons I don't usually go for a 100% run on this game. One is that you can't get everything on your first pass through. You have to go and take a whole second loop for a bunch of random things. Secondly, there's a whole bunch of things that just suck. There's this little thing, and there's that big old Shine Spark puzzle back there, and there's a bunch of other Shine Spark puzzle. Gosh darn it, make everything like Super Metroid. Get off my lawn, etc. Samus. Oh, hello Ridley. Were you always a robot? I think this guy is called Meta Ridley, not Meta. This is, I guess, kind of an Easter egg for Metroid Prime. Prime is actually the next game chronologically because the entire series takes place between Metroid 1 and 2. So Prime is actually the next time we see Ridley again. And in that one, he is a robot. They had not figured out how to clone Ridley or whatever they do to bring him back in his next appearances. Alright. Have trigger destruct sequence. Let's get the heck out of here. But yeah, that boss is, I think, supposed to be kind of a Easter egg slash foreshadowing, like even before he died, Ridley was trying to figure out how to become immortal. Okay, so we're trying to get back to that little hangar area we found before. Blowing up the ship, well, it has actually opened that up so we can actually get into it. Gotta not die or explode. that room. Quickest way to get through it is either with power bombs, or there's a second route up top where you can speed booster through, but you have to wait for the little robot to get out of the way, so... Power bombs are probably the quickest way. If you are out of power bombs, I think the top route and the bottom route take about the same amount of time. Come on, little guy. I don't think there's any way to dodge that one. So here's the hangar, but unfortunately the area is warded. But to actually get through here, you're going to have to take out these two elites. If you got extra energy, they're not too bad, but I know this is where Kino got stuck, because the stupid things are kind of relentless. Anyway, blow through them, door opens. Honestly not sure why space pirates like these little tadpole ships, but anyway, let's blow this place. Okay, and with that, we are done with the game for real. Right, and with that, we completed Metroid Zero Mission, the retelling of the original Metroid game. Honestly, like, since they've been remade, the first two Metroid games are honestly really primitive. Like, they're interesting for historical reasons, but if you're not really interested in old platforms, I don't really recommend you play them. This game right here, I full-heartedly recommend you play. Does an absolutely fantastic job, both bringing the original up to what had been current series standards at the time, and honestly is a really great game in and of itself. But between how snappy the controls are and all the various skips that are built into it, there's actually a whole lot of people who say this is the best Metroid game. I still think Super is, just because of its absolutely wonderful atmosphere. But I can't disagree, I love this one too. Incidentally, this is probably my favorite credits theme series. Aww. Alright, ending time. Let's see how I did. Got it. $146, not too bad. Collecting items is 67%. So yeah, if you... There's a whole bunch of endings based on how fast you go. Less than 2 hours gets you this one. 2 hours to 4 hours, Samus takes her helmet off. More than 4 hours, you just get to see her in the gravity suit. Which honestly is not a very good but bad ending because it's a really cool piece of artwork. This one actually has a whole bunch of other victory conditions though. You get a completely different piece of art if you get 100% and beat it in under 2 hours. I think I've only ever managed to pull that off once. You really do have to be able to speedrun it to pull it off. Beating the game unlocks hard mode, so there is, I think there's separate endings for under 2 hours on hard mode, under 2 hours with 100% items on hard mode, and then it also gives you an ending for beating with as few items as possible. I think it's 14%. That would be grabbing all the major upgrades, and then you've got, like, I think can get like 1 super missile and 2 energy tanks and a handful of regular missiles. There's at least a little bit of leeway there. I have done that a couple times. I honestly don't really like doing it. Sure, I played it. It's a fun one. A good remake in my opinion. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so if we were to start the game up, we'd get the same sort of bonuses we got in Metroid Fusion. Namely, it would give us a running tally of all the items in the game, as well as showing us if we'd gotten all the items in our current area. Go ahead and erase one of these. Okay, I could swear doing the first playthrough unlocked hard mode. I'll have to look up how to do that. Also, anytime we beat this, we get a gallery of all the ending art we've seen. Great, just because there's so many different variations. And if we really want to, you can also play the original Metroid. Little bonus feature is that if you had 2 Game Boy Advances and a link cable to actually link Zero Mission and Metroid Fusion. Well, I can't remember if that was how you unlocked hard mode. Mostly what that got you is a couple of additional gallery pictures. There was several different endings that were in the Japanese version of Fusion that didn't get brought over here. This basically unlocks all those pieces of artwork we've seen. Mostly it's a couple of like color pages from the Metroid manga I mentioned earlier, and some other concept art. There's this weird little one that's like, I don't think it's an actual product, but it looks like a pair of like Samus action figures. When I get around to posting this on YouTube, I can link to a gallery of all the endings. Finish though, one thing I want to do that I've done on the last couple is show you the attract mode. Because starting with Super Metroid, the attract mode will actually show us how to do a couple of the secret techniques like the Shine Spark. Lag, I'm sorry. So your lag message just popped up right now. When did you make it? Actually, I don't honestly know if there's anything I can do about that. I'm pretty sure I don't have the chat delay feature on. mean, it could be on my end. I am actively streaming an ADP video right now. Right, this one conveniently shows us where the heck the wave beam is. Honestly, kind of a tall order to... Like, I knew where it was there because it's exactly in the same place as in the original. There's some fake lava. I actually rather appreciate that someone on the dev staff was like, okay, we're keeping this in because we gotta keep it, but we should at least, like, demonstrate somewhere that fake lava is a thing. It only really exists in two little spots. Okay, here's the one I was thinking of. It shows us the ball spark's ability. Because, again, that was a completely new variation for this one. I don't know if there's a way to learn the ball spark as a thing short of having... Either you're having a walkthrough or watching the interact mode. It sure doesn't tell you about that in-game. Right, well, that ball spark one was the main one I wanted to show her. That, our playthrough of Zero Mission comes to a conclusion. So, schedule going forward, this was game 5 of 6. On Monday, I am going to Samus Returns, the very final game before bed. Usually that one takes me like 4 to 5 hours to play through, so I'm probably not going to be able to do it in one sitting. I'll try to, but if it's going to go super long, what I'm going to do is play through as much of it as possible on Monday next week. Thursday, I'll finish the playthrough off, and then the next day, Friday, is going to be the release date of Metroid Dread, and I will absolutely be streaming on that day. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that full playthrough, but probably